And just now, Robin has also mentioned, I just want to reiterate, government land sales. If you actually look into a URA, there is actually no GLS site reserved for landed homes development, unlike condos, unlike executive condos. And for on-block activities to be happening, the redevelopment potential will still be condos or ECs, right? So what causes the change in the numbers, the small changes, basically is due to the subdivision of bigger landed properties, for example, a bungalow, whereby they can actually be torn down and redeveloped into, say, a pair of semi-detached or even terraces. Or the newer projects that is happening near Yio Chu Kang, Ang Mo Kio, projects like Luxus Hill by Bukit Sembawang, their 99-year leasehold collections, currently is Poland collection, as well as the Belgravia series of strata landed homes. So these are what causes the numbers to change minimally over the years. How about the landed house distributions? So this is the Singapore map itself, and if you actually take a look at these numbers, you'll notice that most of the landed houses are actually found in the central and northeast regions of Singapore, namely in District 10, 15, 16, 19, and 20. So just in case you all can't see clearly the numbers, I've broken down into here, District 19, which we have about 11,800 units, followed by District 15, almost 9,500 units. In District 10, we have about 6,900 units. 16 have 5,008. And last but not least, District 20, which is almost 5,006. So this is where the major landed house supplies will be. How about transactions? So this chart actually plots out the average price, the PSF price, for landed homes since 2014. So if you can see, average landed pricing actually rose over 40% since the year 2020. And these numbers are actually including the 70 years leasehold or 99-year leasehold landed homes. So anyone here know where the 70 lease-year landed properties are? No? So if you are familiar, there are actually two major housing estates in Singapore with balance less than 25 years lease. Okay, number one will be at Fuyong Estate, whereby it's about 25 years, just under 25 years lease. And in Simpang Bedok area, Jalan Cempaka Kuning, Jalan Cempaka Puteh, we have houses there that has less than 10-year lease balance. And we are actually still see transactions in these estates. So imagine today, or not today, imagine in 2020, if you are an owner of a landed property with a land size of about 1,700 square feet. In today's market, you will actually be able to fetch a 3 million, almost 3.05 million over your purchase price at about maybe 2.16 million. You make almost 900,000 in just under 4 years. That's how the potential for landed houses are. How about the volume? Demand for landed homes are consistently strong. Transactional volume has been consistently higher if you actually track from 2014. The onset of COVID-19 actually did not dampen the demand for landed homes. As you all can see, since in 2020, we started to see a 2,000, almost above 2,100 units being transacted. And in 2021, the transaction volumes actually grow to almost 3,700 units. So these numbers actually includes 41 transactions. I have just did a tally. Includes 41 transactions since 2021 for leasehold transactions that I've mentioned for those estates like Fuyong Estate and Simpang Bedok. So that's actually quite incredible because the yearn by buyers or home owners who are looking for space is so huge, especially during the pandemic, that people are actually starting to pay attention to leasehold landed properties. And this explains why leasehold properties are also something buyers can consider. last few years, you can see the volume actually came down, but as per my earlier chart, the average pricing was still increasing and is increasing quite drastically. And this has actually resulted in quite a number of buyers being priced out of the market that they used to be maybe can purchase a semi-detached, but they decided to hold and wait. And now they are probably only able to afford a terrace house. So for those of you who have been sitting on the fence for quite a while, it is probably the right time now to really make a decision. Next thing, where are the demand of landed properties? Where are the transactions happening? Very colorful chart we have. So these are the top performing districts in terms of volume since 2015. Make a guess. Where is the topmost transactions? Who says District 15? Anyone says District 15? Only one, two. So don't hold you back. The top performing district in terms of volume of transactions is actually at District 19. So it resonates with the supply of landed homes there as well, being the biggest number in terms of the landed properties. Next, District 15, my favorite district, followed by District 28, which is where Luxus Hill, Belgravia, the strata landed projects are. And last but not least, District 10, whereby this is our schools district. All the popular primary schools are located along the whole belt of Bukit Timah. So prior to the, if we go further back, prior to the launch of a project at Luxus Hill and the Belgravia series of the strata landed, in fact, District 10 used to clock in more transactions than District 28. So it's because of all the hype of the new launch projects, new launch landed projects in District 28, we are actually seeing a fair bit of interest more for the last couple of years. So now that we know the individual districts, the top performing districts, let us look at the price. So the average price increase for a house in District 10 is actually the orange line here, which is about 47% growth since 2015. District 15 grew by 55%. District 19, wow, 60%. This is a pink line over here. And last but not least, District 28 at 53%. So as you can see, these top performing districts are actually growing at a faster rate if we compare to the national average. And that is one of the reasons why you should pay particular attention into these few districts if you are looking for a landed property. Now, question is, can we simply buy into these districts if you are looking at a landed property? Are there actually specific sectors that you should actually look into? So based on the ground experience that my team actually has, I'm sharing a little bit more into the areas. So in District 19, there's a segregated sectors. For these few segregated sectors like Serangoon Garden Estate, the Kovan area, Upper Paya Lebar, as well as the Hougang, Sengkang, Punggol. So from our experience, most of the buyers who are looking at landed properties, they actually prefer looking into Serangoon Garden Estate. And most of the time, reason is that because it is a exclusive landed zoning, so the mix of residential properties there is much lesser, and it gives you the more exclusive environment. In Kovan, people are looking at Kovan mainly for the amenities. You know, there's plenty of eateries there, the MRT, the shopping malls and all. So this is part of why Kovan is also one of the sought after sector within District 19. How about District 15? District 15, we have the following sectors: the Goodman, the Mountbatten area, the Frankel, Sigap Estate, Katong, Juchet, St. Patrick area, and the Telok Kurau and Opera Estate. So people are looking into Goodman, Mountbatten area. Why? This sector usually associates with a premium pricing. Reason being because they are not only an exclusive landed zoning, these estates actually hold more detached houses. So they are more exclusive. Most of the houses are detached or semi-D. You can hardly find terrace houses in these estates. There is, but there's very minimal. The next estate will be Frankel and Siglap. They share similar profile as a Goodman Mountbatten. The difference is that the land size for these estates are on the smaller side as compared to the Goodman Mountbatten area. So this is one of the second preferred estates in District 15. Number 3, Katong Juchet area. As we know, Katong is popular for its good food, shopping, but most owners, especially parents with school-going children, they are buying into Katong for the popular schools. What are the popular schools in Katong? Anyone? Tao Nan, CHIJ, Hague Girls School. So these are the reasons why Katong is also one of the preferred locations. And for District 15 buyers going into Teluk Kurau Opera Estate, they are actually the more entry-level landed buyers looking to move into the landed category. Next, District 28. We have broken down the Saraka Estate, Seletar Hills Estate, Geryl Lim, and Jalan Kayu Sunrise. So very similar profile. If you're actually familiar with District 28, you will notice that the Saraka Estate houses the big houses. If you have time to drive along, you will see very interesting decos and all in Saraka Estate. Followed by Seletar Hills, which will have the amenities like Greenwich Mall, Seletar Mall. If not, across the street from Seletar Hills, which is a Geryl Lim Estate, and followed by Jalan Kayu. Am I going too fast for y'all? Good. Now, next will be the common challenges for buyers and sellers. So as a landed buyers, most of you, I'm sure, will have an existing place of your own before you are starting to look out for a landed unit, or for landed homeowners who are either downsizing or downgrading to another property type. There are challenges involved when it comes to considering the buy and sell process. Number 1, of course, the additional buyer stamp duty. So if you are a Singapore citizen looking to buy into your second residential property, you have a 20% ABSD, or if it's a third property or subsequent property, it will be 30%. So this is on top of the normal buyer stamp duty that will be applicable for every home purchase. And it is a significant amount of money because this ABSD cannot be loaned. So you have to cough this amount upfront for your purchase. And this is actually making the process a little bit more headache for most of the buyers out there. Next will be the loan. So we all know the interest rates in the current environment is not as low as the previous years. We have a spike in the interest rates earlier on this year or even last year, which is beginning to taper down. If you have been following the news, the media reports, we are talking about also the total debt servicing ratio, the TDSR, and the loan to value for second property, which is at 45% if you have an outstanding home loan currently. So these are some of the considerations. Next, for landed home buyers, the most common feedback from buyers we receive is always they cannot find a suitable listings. There are too few listings in the market for their consideration. Number 2, the location of these properties as well as the pricing of this property does not actually match up with what they are expecting. And I'm not too sure if you all have monitor the transactions very closely. Sometimes along the way, you see units being transacted in the caveats in whichever portal that you all have subscribed to. Then you realize, hey, this unit, I never see any advertisement on the Property Guru or other advertising portals. Nowhere. So how did it actually get transacted? So these are actually some of the what what our trade called pocket listings, because a lot of landed homeowners actually do not want their properties to be actually exposed to the public. They prefer the hush type of sale, and this is where, if you are looking out to buy a landed properties and you're looking out for such units, you need to be well connected to a landed agent who has all the specific knowledge on the ground. All right. Transition. So this is the main problem, because from moving house from one house to another house, the timing for the sale and the purchase to take place, long option period, ABSD window. So we know in order not to be subjected to ABSD, you need to have sold your house with the option to purchase exercise. Then you can proceed to exercise the option to purchase for your new purchase place. So this is one of the methods that we share with our buyers what long option period is all about. Meaning a typical resale contract, you have 2 weeks to exercise the option to purchase. But a long option period means that you actually negotiate for a longer option period with your seller to allow you to sell your current place before you proceed to purchase the landed property. So therefore, because of this long option period, what you see in the transactions records is actually not the entire whole story due to these various timelines and transitions. Meaning, if you have been looking at transaction records along, say, Fidelio Street in District 15, you have been seeing units being transacted at $2,001 PSF, $2,002 PSF. Suddenly, out of the blue, you come in and see a 1,800 PSF, and you say market is dropping. That is not the truth, because these transaction at 1,008 PSF could have happened 9 months back. Because of long option period, they managed to sell their house, and then they proceed to exercise the option to purchase at that price point. Clear? Now, then what are the considerations when you are buying a landed property? Should I actually go to buy a brand new landed house or brand new under construction house? Or should I stick to the resale market? Or perhaps even buy a plot of land to rebuild on my own? This slide basically shares what are the advantages and disadvantages to look into these property types. These are actually from feedbacks from the buyers that we have. So looking at the brand new houses, the building under construction, advantages is definitely what you're buying will be a brand new house. No one has stayed in there before. Design of these houses are usually updated. Defects warranty, developers will usually give you a warranty period, a defects liability period, especially for those building under construction, meaning you're only buying off plans. And of course, because the unit may still be under construction, your transition period will be more manageable, because you know the estimated timeline where this property will actually TOP for you to move in. You can then better plan for the sale of your current place. For resale, what are the advantages? Definitely, they are more affordable. You can actually look, listen, feel, touch these properties before you make your offer. How about buying land to actually rebuild on your own? Such properties, of course, you can actually build to your own taste in terms of the design, and you also enjoy the defects warranty given by the contractors. Next, disadvantages for brand new houses. Buyers will always tell us that brand new houses, very expensive, comes with a premium price, and some of the things like the design of the rooms and the configuration may not be 100% to my liking. And this is actually one reason why you should actually buy as early as possible when they're still under construction. Reason being, there is still chance that you can actually get the developer to make some alterations before they complete the building, right? How about resale? It is less customizable. Imagine if you are buying a semi-renovated unit, because of price concerns, you actually have to take whatever that the current owner has done to the house and you accept it. you sort of have a compromise in terms of the conditions and the renovations of the house. Meaning you are also indirectly helping the current seller pay for their renovations, which actually may be unsuitable for your household. Last but not least, buying to rebuild. So some of you who may not be familiar, if you are buying a property that you are intend to tear down and rebuild, the rebuild process will require you to actually come out with more cash outlay. Okay, so next thing is it takes at least a good 9 months to even 1.5 years to rebuild this property. And along this timeline, you are still paying interest. You are still paying interest for your housing loan for a period that you are not staying. So this could be a consideration. Next, how many of you like to manage contractors? How many of you love to manage contractors? I myself, I hate to manage contractors because a lot of patterns. Sorry for the interior design firms out there. Yeah, so I don't like to manage contractors. And of course, last but not least, the rebuilding cost has increased so drastically. 4 to 5 years ago, we are talking about the rebuilding cost of about 350 to maybe about 450 per square foot based on the build-up area. But today, there are some builders quoting $750 per square foot just to build a landed property. So the increase is really drastic, right? Next, we look into a case study for one of the brand new developments called Springwater Villas situated at District 26, Jalan Mata Ayer. Anybody here is familiar? District 27, sorry. Anyone here familiar with that area? Lots of eateries as well. So this is the artist's impression of the development. So this is actually a development with 3 pair of semi-detached houses located in District 27. There's some typo. TOP, I think just TOP in 2024. Looks very nice in terms of the facade, very modern outlook. Initially, the first unit was actually sold at 1710 PSF when it first launched. And the latest unit that has been sold is actually at 1932 PSF. So all in all, the first unit sold until the latest unit sold is actually less than a year difference. But look at again. Specs-wise, land size, build-up-wise, they are all very, very close. Right? So imagine if you are the first owner who bought into this development, your paper gain that you have made in less than 1 year is already 900,000. Who love to be in that position? I love to be in that position. Right? Next. Oh, for those who are looking to make the same amount of money, you can actually look for us later. We have one last unit available. So a quick one. This development is a semi-D, 5+1 rooms, and the last unit we are calling at 6.98 million. Right? Next, Jardine Residences, District 19. Anyone staying in Serangoon Gardens? Pass by this unit, goes to Chom Chom, whatever, for your food and all. So this is along Lorong Chuan. The Jardine Residences estimated to TOP later this year. Almost done. Okay? It's a brand new development with 2 corner terraces by the side and 4 times inter terraces. The initial launch price, the inter terrace was actually sold at 2957 PSF. That was back in August 2022. But the last unit that was sold also at inter terrace was transacted at 3092 PSF, translating to about 250,000 paper gain in a year. Good or no good? Of course, slightly not as good as the Springwater Villa, but 250,000 within 1 year. I think this is a very respectable returns, right? So these are for the bigger projects. Yes, same thing. One last unit available. We have a corner terrace calling at 6.77 million. So this has 6 bedrooms. Later on, if you're interested in any of these listings, my partners are all around to help. They are in their jacket with name tags and all. standing around. So later you can approach any of us. Next, case study, Fidelio Street. Now this case study is more about buying a brand new better or buying to rebuild on your own is better. Okay, so this is at District 15, number 30, Fidelio Street. The land size is approximately 1886 square feet. It is a brand new 2-story intermediate terrace with an attic, a mezzanine, and a basement. So the total build-up area is approximately 5625 square feet. I'm going to break down to you if you buy this as a rebuild, to rebuild on your own, a similar plot of land, versus buying a brand new, which one makes more sense? So the specs are here, land size 1886. Based on the current land pricing in District 15 around Opera Estate area, we are talking about easily 2,000 per square foot just to buy a plot of land to redevelop. So I give a bit of discount, 1908 PSF to round up to 3.6 million. Easy calculation, 3.6 million just to buy the plot of land. Plus the construction to 5625 square feet of build-up area. Just now I mentioned some builders are quoting 750 PSF to build. I give discount also. I'm not builder, so don't look for me. So assume that it is at 550 PSF. The redevelopment cost will be 3.1 million to build this house with an attic, mezzanine, and a basement. By the way, basement comes with a pool, right? So the total cost itself will be at 6.7 million if you were to buy this plot of land and rebuild on your own. Today, as a brand new listing for sale, developer is looking at 6.5 million. That is $200,000 difference. Good or no good? This weekend only, if you are interested in this house, we will try for you to secure for you for at 6.38 million. All right? Don't tell developer. Next case study will be in District 20, Jalankuras. 108 Jalankuras, land size approximately 2687 square feet. This will be a brand new 2-story intermediate terrace with attic, mezzanine, and basement. Wow, I always find this sort of examples to share because they are very, very fully built. Okay, so build up to 6659 square feet. Total rebuilding cost will be about 3.66 million. Land cost will be about 4 million. So the total final pricing will be about 7.366 million versus our listing price at 7.1 million by developer. You can do your maths. Good thing is, again, this weekend only, any offers 6.9 mil upwards, we can try for you to talk to the developer. I'm running out of time, so I need to hasten a bit. So case study about this development at East Coast Terrace. This is actually 6 units of terrace house and 2 units of semi-D that had TOP back in 2016, freehold development. Now, back in 2016, this unit was actually sold at 4 million, which is about 2477 PSF. And just earlier this year, just in fact less than 1.5 months back, it was resold for 5.57 million, working out to be about 3450 PSF. So the total gain by the owner was 1.57 million. If you look back into the average pricing in District 15 back in 2016, it was just 1239 per square foot. Meaning this owner actually paid 1,200 PSF higher back then than the average transacted pricing. Was that a risk? Yes, but look at the returns. Next, another example at Charlton Lane, District 19. It was sold as a brand new house in 2016 at 2035 per square foot, which is the highest PSF transacted back in 2016. Resold back in November 2023 at 2882 per square foot. And this price, this PSF price was actually even higher than some of the brand new houses that have been transacted in the last 12 months for District 19. Impressive? So, to wrap it up, today's high pricing that you see for brand new houses will actually be a low price tomorrow. There are many concerns we hear on the ground that buying a brand new house will be difficult to exit due to the high entry price, right? But time and again, as my examples have shown, the owners who actually made the move back then will actually benefit from this decision. So many buyers are actually sitting on the fence. So end up, they are actually being priced out of the market, because when government actually introduce any cooling measures, if we have seen the history of pricing, landed home prices were never affected. But because these cooling measures have always been targeting to reduce the demand, so they make it more difficult for buyers to actually enter the market to buy a landed property. All right, so that's all for me today. So again, I like to highlight that I have my partners right behind. Later on, if you have any questions, you can actually approach us in private to let us know what questions that you may have. Thank you.